Break free from dependence and change your life. A life-changing motivational story. The hidden trap of waiting for others. Have you ever found yourself waiting for someone else to give you the green light before making an important decision? Have you hesitated to chase your dreams because you were waiting for validation? If so, you're not alone. Many people unknowingly fall into the trap of excessive dependence, letting others dictate their choices, their future, and ultimately their happiness. But what if you decided to take full control of your life? This is the story of Ethan, a young man who learned a life-changing lesson that transformed his destiny. More importantly, it's a story about you, and how you can break free from the habit of waiting and start doing today. Ethan's comfortable yet limiting life. Ethan was an ordinary young man living in a quiet town. He was intelligent, kind-hearted, and had big dreams. Yet, there was one major flaw that held him back. He always relied on others to make decisions for him. One, choosing a career, he waited for his parents to decide. 2, making a personal choice, he asked his friends for advice before acting. 3, unsure about a life decision, he needed constant reassurance from his teachers. This habit had become so ingrained that he barely noticed how much it controlled his life. He believed that seeking guidance was the safest way to avoid mistakes. But in reality, it was preventing him from developing the confidence to think for himself. His father, Mr. Carter, an old and wise man, saw this growing dependency and knew that if Ethan didn't change, he would never truly achieve success or fulfillment. One evening, as they sat outside their house watching the sunset, his father said, "Ethan, come with me tomorrow morning. I want to show you something important." Curious but unaware of what was ahead, Ethan agreed. The lesson of the tree. Strength comes from within. The next morning, Ethan's father took him on a walk into the dense forest near their town. The air was fresh, the sound of birds filled the silence, and rays of sunlight filtered through the towering trees. After walking for a while, his father stopped beside a young tree. He placed his hand on its bark and asked, "Tell me, Ethan, how does this tree stand so tall and strong?" Ethan thought for a moment. "Because it gets water from the soil and sunlight from the sky." His father smiled and nodded. "That's true, but now, imagine if this tree started leaning on another tree for support instead of standing on its own. What do you think would happen?" Ethan was puzzled. "I guess it wouldn't grow properly?" "Exactly," his father said. "If a tree depends on another for support, it will never develop its own strength. The moment the other tree falls, it will fall too." Ethan stared at the tree, beginning to understand the hidden meaning behind his father's words. But the lesson wasn't over yet. The well and the stone. A deeper truth about action. His father took him further into the forest until they reached an old well. The walls were covered in moss, and the water inside was deep and still. His father picked up a small stone and dropped it into the well. A few seconds later, they heard the soft plop as the stone hit the water. "Did you hear that?" his father asked. "Yes," Ethan replied. "Now, imagine if this stone refused to fall because it was waiting for another stone to go first. Would it ever reach the water?" Ethan shook his head. "No, it wouldn't." His father smiled. "That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. My son, you're like that stone, always waiting for someone else to take the first step. You wait for others to decide your future. But life doesn't work that way. If you keep depending on others, you'll never reach your destination." This time, the message struck deep. Ethan realized how much time he had wasted waiting for validation, fearing mistakes, and hoping someone else would take responsibility for his life. The turning point. Ethan's transformation. That day changed everything for Ethan. He made a decision. No more waiting. No more hesitation. No more relying on others to shape his future. At first, it wasn't easy. Making decisions felt scary. He doubted himself. He made mistakes, but he kept going. Every small choice he made by himself gave him more confidence. Every failure became a lesson. Slowly, he started trusting his own judgment. 1. Instead of waiting for advice on his career, he took action and started learning about business. 2. Instead of waiting for friends to approve his dreams, he pursued them anyway. 3. Instead of fearing mistakes, he embraced them as part of the journey. Years passed, and Ethan became a successful entrepreneur. People admired him not just for his achievements but for his courage and determination. He had built his own path, one that was not dependent on anyone else. One day, a young boy approached him and asked, "Sir, what is the secret to your success?" Ethan smiled and said, "The day I stopped depending on others and took charge of my own life, everything changed." Why this story matters for you. Ethan's story is not just about him, it's about all of us. Many people spend years waiting. 1. Waiting for the perfect moment to start something. 2. Waiting for approval from family or friends. 3. Waiting for someone to show them the way. But the truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one will live your life for you. You have to take that first step. Even if it's scary, you have to trust yourself, even when you're unsure. The most successful people in life are not the ones who had everything figured out from the start. They are the ones who took risks, made mistakes, learned, and kept going. Take the first step today. If you want to change your life, here's what you need to do. 1. Make decisions for yourself. Stop waiting for others to decide for you. Trust your instincts and make choices based on what you truly want. 2. Accept mistakes as part of growth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. 3. Take action now. Stop waiting for the perfect time. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. The choice is yours. Will you keep waiting for others? Or will you take charge of your own destiny? Start today. Take that first step. Your future depends on it. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful life lessons.